Hey guys, Dr. Brown here with Kubo Math, and tonight we're talking absolute value. This is Algebra 1, absolute value. Now, I'm a simple guy. What is absolute value? It's just the distance a number is from zero. That's all it amounts to. Let's say I have the absolute value of a -2. So these two goalposts, if you will, that's an absolute value sign. So the -2 is how far from zero? It's 2 units. So the absolute value of -2 equals 2. So it's just the number of units you are away from zero. So the absolute value of 2 is also 2, because it's 2 units from zero. How complicated is that? All right, now, however, there are a few rules. You know me, I'm a rules guy. And a few operational things. All right, let's say we have the absolute value of 3x equals 12. Now, when you work with all of this, let's say I had a few numbers out here. You need to isolate the absolute value, get everything else away from it and on the other side, okay? So in this case, we have just the absolute value on this side. So we could say, well, 3x equals 12 and 3x equals -12. And then solve for x in each case. So we'll divide by 3 on both sides. So x equals 12 divided by 3 is 4. So if we do the same thing over here, 3x divided by 3 is x. And that equals -12 divided by 3 is -4. So let's plug these back in. 3 times 4 is 12. The absolute value of 12, it's 12 units from zero. So that equals 12, that's correct. -4, so if we put a -4 in here, 3 times -4 is -12. Well, how far is -12 from zero? It's 12 units. So the absolute value of -12 is 12. So x equals 4, x equals -4 would both be solutions in that case. Okay, let's get a little bit more complicated problem here. All right, let's see. What if we have x plus 8, the absolute value of x plus 8 equals, what does it equal? 24. Well, according to the rule we just used, we're going to drop the absolute value signs and write the problem as it's stated, and then we're going to say x plus 8 equals -24. All right, so if we subtract 8 from both sides, x plus 8 minus 8 equals 24 minus 8. These cancel, so x equals 16. Okay, on this other side, x plus 8 minus 8 equals -24 minus 8. So these 8's cancel. X equals minus a positive is plus a negative, correct? So -24 plus a -8 is minus 32. Oh, you were probably thinking earlier this would just be 16, -16. Got you. Just like the other one had 4 and -4, a person might think, well, I'll just put a negative sign on this answer and that'll solve for that. That's not the case. All right, let's plug this back in. 16 plus 8, the absolute value of 16 plus 8, so the absolute value of 24 does in fact equal 24. Now let's put -32 in there. -32 plus 8 gives me -24. Well, the absolute value of -24, so it's -24 is 24 units from zero. So the absolute value of -24 is 24. So x equals 16, x equals negative 32 are solutions for the absolute value of x plus 8 equals 24. Okay. Hopefully everybody has had a wonderful day and you've been studying. All right, so let me check these off as we go so I won't work the same problem again. Let's see, 2x, absolute value of 2x minus 7 equals 15. Okay, so per the problem we just worked, this one is exactly like it. We could say 2x minus 7 equals 15, and 2x minus 7 equals a negative 15. So I'm going to add 7 to both sides. So these 7's cancel. 2x equals 15 plus 7 is 22. Divide both sides by 2, x equals 11. All right, in this case, 2x minus 7 plus 7 equals negative 15 plus 7. Oh, so these cancel, so 2x equals negative 8. Divide both sides by 2, x equals negative 4. All right, let's see if I plug those back in. 2 times 11 is 22. So I'm plugging this back in. 2 times 11 is 22. 22 minus 7 is 15. Absolute value of 15 is 15. Negative 4. 2 times negative 4 is a negative 8. So negative 8 minus 7 is a negative 15. The absolute value of negative 15 is 15. Okay. 3 down. Reason I'm checking those off is I'm limited on short-term memory, I think, and I worked the same problem twice in one video, and I had to go back and repeat the video all over again because I'd worked the same problem twice. All right, there's a rule out there that says D times the absolute value of AX plus C or plus B, sorry, I don't guess it makes any difference, plus C equals K. Let's call it that. Now you'll notice we have an absolute value with other things going on around it. As I mentioned earlier, you need to isolate the absolute value sign. So in this case, D times AX plus B, the absolute value of that, plus C minus C, I'll get rid of that C, equals K minus C. Alright, so these C's are gone. I still have D. Let me divide both sides by D. So now D divided by D, that one's gone. So now I have the absolute value of AX plus B equals K minus C over D. Now you can see we would say AX plus B equals K minus C over D. And then AX plus B equals minus K minus C over D. So we would, same as we've worked earlier, and then we could solve that for X. So we have a problem that has that very same scenario. So let's see what we can do with it. We have 2 times the absolute value of 3x minus 1 plus 4 equals 12. Okay. Well, let's subtract the 4, get rid of it. So minus 4, 12 minus 4. So that equals 8. So those are gone. So I have 2 times the absolute value of 3x minus 1 equals 8. So now I'm going to divide both sides by 2. That cancels. So now I have the absolute value of 3x minus 1 equals 4. So what did we do earlier? Let's drop these and say 3x minus 1 equals 4. 3x minus 1 equals negative 4. And we're going to solve for x. So I'm going to add 1 to both sides. So that one canceled. I'm left with 3x equals 5 divided by 3 on both sides. X equals 5/3. Okay, let's add 1 to both sides here. These cancel, so 3x equals, plus a positive is negative 3. So divide both sides by 3. X equals negative 1. Okay? Now, let's plug those guys back in, see what happens. Well, we've got, I'll write that right here, 2 times absolute value of 3 times 5 over 3 minus 1 plus 4, and they're saying that equals 12. So these cancel. 5 minus 1 is 4. Absolute value of 4 is 4. 2 times 4 is 8. 8 plus 4 is 12. All right, so that one's good. So we had 3 times x. Now x is a negative 1. Okay, so that gives me negative 3 minus 1 minus a positive plus a negative gives me a negative 4. Absolute value of negative 4 is 4. 2 times 4 is 8. 8 plus 4 is 12. So x equals 5/3, x equals negative 1 are both solutions. Okay. All right, so that's how that rule of isolating the absolute value works out. So not too many rules. I mean, absolute value is the distance a number is from 0, whether it's positive or negative. Isolate the absolute value when you're working a problem. Get it all on one side. Absolute value only on one side. Everything else on the other. Solve for the variable that's in question. And then there's this rule right here. This will be the last one. It is, if you have two absolute values, 5x minus 2, the absolute value of 5x minus 2 equals the absolute value of 10 minus x. Wow, what to do there? The rule is drop one of those absolute values and solve for the variable that's in question. Same as we've done in the past. Okay, so let's try that. Let's just say the absolute value of 5x minus 2 equals 10 minus x. What does that also mean? That 5x minus 2 equals 10 minus x. But it also means 5x minus 2 equals minus 10 minus x. So that means 5x minus 2 equals 5. Distribute that negative to the inside, negative 10. A negative times negative is positive, plus x. Okay? So let's subtract x from both sides. So it gives me 4x minus 2 equals negative 10. Now I'm going to add 2 to both sides. So these 2's cancel. I have 4x equals negative 8. Divide both sides by 4. So 4 over 4 is 1. 1 times x is x. And that equals negative 2. Okay, now let's go to this side. Let's say I'm going to add x to both sides. 6x minus 2 equals 10. Now I'm going to add 2. These cancel. 6x equals 12. Divide both sides by 6. X equals 2. So I have x equals 2, x equals negative 2. Let's plug that back in and go back to our original problem that we had and see if it works out. So x equals 2. 5 times 2 is 10. 10 minus 2 is 8. Absolute value of 8 is 8. Okay? 2. 10 minus 2 is 8. The absolute value of 8 is 8. So that works out. So this one's okay. Negative 2. 5 times negative 2 is a negative 10. Negative 10 minus a positive plus a negative, so that's negative 12. Absolute value of negative 12 is 12. And then 10 minus a negative 2, minus a negative is plus a positive, so that is 12. Absolute value of 12 is 12. So 12 equals 12. So that also is a solution. Okay, the three rules. Absolute value is the distance from 0, whether it's positive or negative. It's just the number, the distance in units. Then if you have absolute value, in this case on both sides, drop one of them and then repeat our rule where you're looking at 5x minus 2, the absolute value that equals this, and then you take that same quantity and put a negative in front of it. Change the sign of everything, solve for x there. So it's just fairly simple. Distance from 0 and a few rules. Oh, the other rule was you need to isolate. If you have like a lot of things going on around it, a lot of plus and minus, division, multiplication, all of that, get everything on one side except the absolute value and then solve for the variable that's in question. Okay, that's absolute value. All right, that's all for now. Study, study, study. Why are we doing this? Okay, together we're trying to build a better tomorrow and do that through math. All right, guys, you have a great evening and we'll talk to you again next time. Thanks.